and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I just recently graduated from the MYP with an 888 in all of the criteria of the personal project report. So I thought I would create a video because a lot of the tips and resources that I found online really helped me in attaining this perfect score. So I'm going to break this video down into what the personal project is, my personal experiences, and then we'll go into the individual criteria that's being assessed. So if you are in grade 10 doing the personal project or you know someone doing it, this video will be extremely helpful. What is the personal project? The personal project should basically be renamed the passion project because that's essentially what it is. You pick a topic that excites you or has intrigued you in any way, no matter how weird or unusual that interest may be. And then you go on a journey of research, crafting, or editing and come up with a product that can benefit you or your community. This can be anything all the way from creating your own crime series on Spotify to building a ukulele to making a website on Google Sites called NutriElf to help women and children in Ghana. So in conclusion, it's just something that's totally up to you, whether it's academic or personal interest. And through this journey, more than anything, you will learn a lot of things about yourself. What kind of a learner you are, how much you procrastinate, but more importantly, you will learn more in your area of interest and develop a more nuanced view of whatever topic you take on. The project will make you feel more prepared to tackle DP, the diploma program, improve your self-confidence, public speaking skills, and for many, it teaches you to not procrastinate anything. What I enjoyed the most about the project was being able to interview and engage with the women themselves from the Talented Women's Club. In my project, this was a community the charity club in my school had ties to, and I was able to give them some sort of a voice by listening to them and sharing their story on a global platform. They shared with me some of the tragedies of their lives, but also their aspirations for their children to continue with education and a desire for improved nutrition. My first tip is to start the report writing as early as you can. So for me, I started writing my report as I was building my product, which is my website. Now, teachers won't often recommend starting while you're working on your product. They'll often say, do your product, submit your product, and then work on your report. But by doing this, I was able to redraft my report so many times, talk to my supervisors, other teachers, parents, and make sure that the report was the best that it could be. So I would recommend what I did. But I also had friends who'd left it for the last minute, the week before it was due, and they weren't able to get the report to a degree of accuracy or what they'd expected. So I would say start as early as you can. Then instead of spending lots and lots of time on your report, wasting time, use the resources that I'm about to show a little later on in the video, because these resources are going to maximize your score in whatever little time you spend. Now you might ask how? Well, these resources are resources made by looking at the MYP rubric. So every little thing that you answer are answering different strands of the rubric. So you're maximizing your score. Number 3 is if your report goes over 15 pages, use tables to reduce the amount of text, and you do not need spaces between subtitles and text. This will save you so much space. For me, it actually got me down 5 pages in my report. And there'll be more about this in a part 2 video, so stay tuned for that. And lastly, in terms of the product, do something simple, don't overcomplicate, and just do something you won't have to spend so much time worrying about. So a big tip is that manufacturing a product, like physically, is oftentimes more stressful than making an online product. So just keep that in mind. So in terms of resources, there are only 2 of them that I used when writing my report. Literally, these 2 are the only websites or links that you need to get a perfect score because they each have in-depth explanations and templates of how to thoroughly answer each criteria's requirements. And what I really loved about the Design MYP website is that this man basically gives you the prompts that you can answer for each criteria that directly relates to the rubric that you're being assessed on. So as you answer each of his prompts, you're actually gaining more marks. So this is a must-have tool, and especially if you're cramming the report writing into a weekend or a few days, this will ensure that you get the highest mark in whatever little time you spent. But on a side note, the earlier you start, the more you can draft and talk to your supervisor. So I highly recommend starting as early as possible with the report. These YouTube videos on how to get a 24 out of 24 in each of the criterias is also popular, and I found it extremely helpful for the writing, but even more for understanding how to format my text, images, videos, and other resources in a neat and proper way, since I was only allowed 15 pages max. So I would definitely pay attention to her annotations because she knows exactly how to answer the question with perceptiveness, and I was able to take a lot of inspiration from her formatting of tables as well.